Happy Easter. I don't know about you, but the imagery in Revelation so often feels too fanciful compared to the world as it is now. Death will be no more. Mourning and crying and pain will be no more. Sounds like a whimsical fairy tale, when in reality, I have family members struggling through cancer treatments. I have friends going through heartache and grief. And I am continually overwhelmed by the news of ongoing war between Israel and Hamas, and Russia in the Ukraine, as well as gang violence in Haiti. In each of those countries, in each of our homes, there are people who are mourning, crying, or in pain. Rather than the imagery of Revelation, I often think the imagery Paul provides in Romans is more fitting. A creation still groaning in labor pains. That's where we are now, in the painful struggle, while Revelation offers us a glimpse of what could be when the new creation is here, when new life is pushed forth from the womb. After each of my kids were born, the hospital encouraged skin-to-skin contact between me and the baby for at least an hour. Naked newborn baby placed upon my bare chest. This practice helps calm and relax both mother and baby after the stress that just happened, and regulates the baby's heart rate and breathing, helping them to better adapt to life outside the womb. I was reminded of this practice as I prayed with the vision in Revelation, wondering how the author had the capacity to imagine this new creation, not only amidst a world so broken, but in the midst of his own suffering. The author, who identifies himself as John, had been exiled because of his Christian faith. Now, earlier church fathers identified this John to be the same as the writer of the Gospel of John. Later church fathers denied this. But bear with me as we play with this connection anyway, as I think there is some helpful fruit for our own ability to live in hope and to creatively imagine as the author of Revelation clearly could. The author of the Gospel of John is assumed to be the unnamed beloved disciple, who at the Last Supper is leaned back against Jesus' chest. And depictions of the scene in art always show one of the disciples in this position. Skin-to-skin contact, beloved disciple and Lord. A baby spends that first hour of life snuggled up against its mother's chest, and then grows and changes rapidly during its first year of life. And yet for the first 6 to 7 months, does not know it is separate from its mother. What if that's what that image in the gospel is trying to tell us of John, the beloved disciple? And what if it's encouraging that of all of us as disciples? Lean in close. Be in contact with Jesus, so close that you don't know a difference between yourself and God. I think this close proximity is what allowed the beloved disciple to be the only one, at least of the men, who followed Jesus to the cross. The others fled, but standing at the foot of the cross were Jesus' mother, his mother's sister, Mary Magdalene, and the beloved disciple. Imagine that if, like a child, we didn't know a difference between ourselves and God. If we thought we were God, not in some puffed up version of our ego, but in a genuine, true intimacy. When two become one. How different we would treat one another if we were acting out of the mind and heart of God. How would we see others as all part of God? There is so much mourning, crying, and pain in our world simply because of how we treat one another. What if this could change that? There have been saints who have practiced this awareness, who have noticed those around them and their proximity to God. St. Alphonsus Rodriguez, a humble Jesuit brother who served as porter or doorkeeper at the Jesuit school in Majorca, Spain, tried to see each person as Christ. Whenever he heard a knock on the door, he would say, "I'm coming, Lord." And I imagine this is how the author of Revelation was, be it the same John of the Gospels or a different one. That even amidst exile, even in suffering and pain, he leaned in so close, stayed in close proximity to God, that he could envision a new world. So again, happy Easter. Lean into Jesus in this season. Let the hope and joy of the risen Christ give you new eyes, a hopeful vision, and start living as if it were true. That's the only way the new world can be born.